happens. It's all good. But it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute today. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too, man. So before we get into your life and your work, I want to begin with we're in April 4 years ago. Everything stopped over time because of COVID. How did you survive the pandemic and how did it subsequently change you?
So that's an interesting thing. So in 2021, we also had a freeze claim event. It was called Ice Storm Uri. And we had like 8 million properties across the Southwest, which had broken pipes, which is perfect for us because that's what we do. Somebody's house floods, somebody's business floods. We go in and help them out.
Yeah.
So the pandemic really didn't affect us very much because we were an emergency services still. So we had to change things up on how we did our inspections and things like that. But I mean, um, it really didn't affect us very much, I would say.
Okay. So
Uh,
let me ask you this. There's so many things on paper about you being a claims expert and a consultant, but I want to get to the brass tacks. If I put you in front of a bunch of third graders, it's career day, and one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
I help property owners who are in a dispute with their insurance company. So I'm the guy that you call before you call an attorney. And generally, I'm the guy that the attorney calls to help them sift through the damages and make sense of the policy.
So, what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
Oh man, I'm sure it's like everybody else. I wanted to play football,
Okay.
uh, and that didn't become a reality. So I went to school at SMU and studied finance and accounting, and I don't even use that. So
Isn't that's the bark from all the younger generations? There's all these things they're teaching me. Why do I need it? But I'm always like, you just never know how your brain's a muscle. You could be working things in a certain way that'll help other things. It's sometimes it's a mystery. So, um, so how did you get in this line of work? Take me back to your childhood. How did finance and how did this become a part of your world?
so when I was in college, I was a junior at SMU over the summer, and friends that I had that were or were about to take their jobs because they had just graduated from SMU were taking jobs where they're making $36,000 a year, and I was like, man, I'm doing part-time work over the summer working for a car dealership in the F&I department, and I make that much in 3 months. And so I didn't finish school. I left my junior year and went into finance full time. I did that until I met my wife and realized 100 hours a week wasn't going to cut it. So I shifted into real estate. Did that until the crash of 2008. When the crash happened in 2008, I had to find something else to do. And somebody told me, well, you know a lot about construction. You should go be an adjuster. So I was an insurance adjuster. I was a cat adjuster and chased claims all over the country. Um, and after a short period of time doing that, I realized there was another side, which is the public adjusting side. A friend of ours, she's a TCU, or she was a TCU professor. She was a professor of nursing. And her house got hit by a tornado, and the insurance company came out and told her she had $38,000 worth of damage. She had no roof over her living room, her dining room, her two-car garage, her kitchen, and her formal dining room. And her house flooded because with tornadoes comes rain. And so she had an old style house where the living room was sunk in, and then the back of the house was lower than the front of the house. So all the water flooded her bedrooms, which still had a roof on it, but as the water came in, it flooded the back rooms and stuff like that. So
So let me ask you this. Of all of the insurance claims that you've gone through, I mean, I'm sure you've seen some weird things.
oh,
What's one of the strangest ones you ever dealt with?
So the funniest one I think we ever had was we had a gentleman up in Amarillo, and he came home one day and his house was surrounded by the police department. He found out that a robber or suspected robber had broken into his house and had barricaded himself in the house.
Wow.
And the police were shooting tear gas into his house all day long, 32 cans of tear gas. And when he got there, like any homeowner, he's freaked out. Somebody's in his house. All the windows in his house are broken out, and the police are surrounding it and won't let him in. So when they finally do break down the door, SWAT gets there, and the guy was in the attic the whole time. That with tear gas, it doesn't rise; it sets, but it's an acid, so it burns into everything: sheetrock, carpet, cabinets, furniture, toys, clothing, so on and so forth. So you can imagine the amount of damage tear
Yeah.
gas does. Well, his insurance wasn't going to pay for it. The police department didn't want to pay for it, and so he had to hire us to help him get the claim paid.
Wow. That's
That was a
crazy.
weird one.
That is weird. So let me ask you this. Who's been kind of a hero or an inspiration for you in your life?
Oh, that's a good one. uh Hero in my life. You know, I've had a lot of coaches and people in ministry that have helped me out through the years. And one of my favorite coaches when growing up was a guy by the name of Coach Weaver. He instilled Christian values in me and helped me grow as a young man and uh, go out and believe that I can do anything that I want to do. So.
So let me ask you this. If you can meet anybody on the planet right now that you find inspirational and spend a little time with them, who would it be?
An inspirational person right now that I want
Yeah.
to meet? Uh, Another good question, man. You're just
We're
giving the great ones this morning.
trying to get everybody woken up today.
Um, Shoot.
Let's circle back around. Let me ask you this. Of all of the clients that you've had, what's been one of your favorite success stories?
Um, Probably Virtuwave Technology Center. So we got hired on with Virtuwave. They store data center for Amazon
Yeah.
and other people who are looking to store data. They got hit by a tornado, or not a tornado, a hail event, and we were able to help them out. You know, we're still friends to this day, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. So what's the motivation for you every day to get up, to help people, to do the job the best you can, and to also grow as a person?
I think it's a matter of you get joy out of serving others. You know, I think that most people, when they serve others, they get their own reward out of it. We try and help as many people as we can. Obviously, we can't help everybody, but we try. And then if we can't help them, we're going to give them the best advice that we can and point them in the right direction.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I'm a servant leader. I want to see everybody successful around me. I want to try and make those people that um, I associate with successful, even if I'm not getting money back on it. I'm starting a little a book that I'm writing called "I Know a Guy." I imagine that based on the referrals and relationships that I've built over the years, that I've been able to help people sell or service somewhere in the $1 billion range. So I take a lot of heart to that.
So you have to give good advice to clients. What's the best advice that you've ever gotten?
Uh, so I'm a big Zig Ziglar fan.
Yeah,
If you help enough people get what they want, you'll get everything that you want.
yeah, yeah,
And some of the best advice that I've gotten from people that I respect is that you have to associate your people or associate with people that you would want to hire yourself. You know, there's an old saying you can get things, there's good, fast, and cheap, but you can't have all three.
yeah.
And, you know, when you associate with somebody who's going to be cheap, it, you're always the cheap guy and you may not do stuff right or have the best quality and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, I've never wanted to associate with um, being the cheap guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to have the best quality and the best service.
So let me ask you this, of all of the things that you've done and accomplished in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Uh, that's an easy one. I got a 19-year-old kid I'm really proud of.
Yeah. So you mentioned football. Let's say we get off this call, time machine pulls up in front of your business, and you can go anywhere in the history of time and see one game. Where are you going?
Oh man. Uh, uh, I would probably want to go see the Cowboys win the Super Bowl again.
Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you this. If you have a dream tonight, you run into the 18-year-old version of you, and you can give that young version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom you've gained in your life so far. What advice would you give that young version of you?
Stay patient, stay consistent, because there's a plan for you. You may not know what the plan is today, but there's a plan.
Yeah. What's the best thing about living in Dallas?
Oh, we got great food.
Yeah.
We got great weather. Um, those are, I mean, you can't beat that. We typically can have summer from around now. I mean, it's 85 degrees until uh, October, so I don't have to worry about any snow,
Yeah.
which is a big deal to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I went to Dallas in the late 90s. I was doing marketing for an architectural engineering firm. And when I got in the cab, I told the guy to take me to Commerce Street, and I didn't
Mhm.
realize there was a Commerce Street in Fort Worth. So needless to say, that guy got a really big tip when he got me to the right Commerce Street. I always remember that. But I had a great time. I've been to Dallas a few times. It's a great city. So let me ask you this. If anyone out there wants to hire you, learn more about you, reach out to you, anything about your world, where's the best place to go?
National claims negotiators. We have a free consultation on there that somebody can sign up and ask us about their claim. Uh, like I said, even if we can't help them, we'll try and point them in the right direction on
Excellent.
stuff.
Sounds good, man. Ron, thank you, sir. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Have a great weekend.
You too. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir. Take care.